Story 1. I seem to always be drawn to people who are a mix of calm with a little bit of weirdness. They have a quirky side but know when to be serious. Also, if they can make me laugh, that is a huge plus. Story 2. Lonely men who turn out to be red flags in relationships. Women who are either heterosexual or do not have romantic feelings for me. I am somewhat emotionally unavailable when it comes to women, and I am working on that. Story 3. I am most attracted to the type of people whose eyes light up when they talk about something they love. You can have any appearance, style, or personality, but when a person is sincere, passionate, and warm, it is very attractive, even more than perfect facial features. Story 4. I tend to gravitate toward people who are passionate about something. It does not matter if it is art, technology, cooking, or hiking. That spark is magnetic. Story 5. Narcissists, difficult people, and manipulators. I think that mistake signals warning signs for vulnerable individuals. Story 6. Those affected by life and feeling depressed give me the impression that birds of a feather flock together. Story 7. I seem to be attracted to women with mental health challenges, at least in fiction. This is because my preferred archetype of a sweetheart with heavenly laughter who is kind to everybody doesn't really exist. Story 8. Emotionally unavailable with additional toxicity is my kryptonite. I should be going after the stable, kind, and straightforward type. I guess I missed that memo. Story 9. Curious and secure men who will not wince or disregard my hobbies and interests as silly just because they were traditionally perceived as feminine. Story 10. Sweet, honest, caring, and happy, both men and women. If you smile at me, try to make others feel at ease, show support, and generally take life with a smile and a laugh, I will follow you anywhere. Story 11. Straight single man, 54 years old. My preferences have changed over my life. Currently, I like them on the slimmer side. Long dark hair with blue eyes will captivate me every time. Confidence and self-assurance go a long way. It is also important that they say what they mean and mean what they say. Good communication skills are key. Also, they should not try to make me pay for other men's mistakes. Story 12. Avoidant or emotionally unavailable men. It stems from my toxic need to help people and the fact that we all end up dating someone who resembles our parents. It was never about looks. It was about personality. Story 13. Nerds all day, every day. I like men who are kind, intelligent, playful, and who are not afraid to be vulnerable. Bonus points if you are tall. Story 14. I liked a pretty, shy, introverted, nerdy girl. Now, I prefer slow burn types where we develop a connection. Story 15. Creatives. I admire their capacity for expression. It is not just artists either. Different creative fields like chefs, designers, writers, and others. Story 16. I'm attracted to all genders, but I enjoy people who have a healthy relationship with both the masculine and feminine sides of themselves. I think we have a lot to learn and gain from both sides. This can also be applied to those who do not identify with either, but are still in harmony with their various energies. Story 17. I like women who treat me like a normal person, not the ones who actually like me, which is odd. I want to be treated and talked to normally, not flirted with all the time. Story 18. I am a redhead man and I love Latina and Black women. I have always been treated really well and felt appreciated by them for some reason compared to white women. I also like tall and muscular women, especially if they are of Nordic descent. Story 19. Taller than me, not too much hair, relaxed mind, open-minded, beautiful smile, positive thinking, clever, generous lover, smart individual. Story 20. Sadly, I am attracted to men I will never have. Not only are they rare where I am from, but it is rare in general to find them with girls like me. The men I am surrounded by are generally not what appeal to me physically, mentally, or emotionally. It is a sad story. Story 21. Fit, beautiful, well put together but natural looking. Can hold a conversation and is really warm and feminine. Story 22. A decisive, protective man. Men who are capable of violence to protect their loved ones. Men who cherish their mothers and children. Unselfish men. Dominant men. Story 23. Communists. I cannot find myself attracted to people who support the continued exploitation of 99% of humanity. Story 24. People who are kind and flirtatious. Also, the type of person who notices if you are sad and will immediately hug you. Story 25. I really appreciate men who are intelligent, thoughtful, and kind. Luckily, I am married to one, and he is truly my unicorn because he fits all three qualities. Before I got married, I always found that the type did not matter. If there was not much going on mentally, I got bored, and if they were kind of an asshole, it was a turn off. Story 26. Some of those large breasts and a deep conversation about artificial intelligence, quantum processing, and the future of humanity. Story 27. I find myself drawn to petite women. I'm not a particularly large man, but I find them to be the perfect cuddle size, and I like feeling like I am the one who protects her. Story 28. Older women. I am 20 years old, and an age gap larger than my age would not bother me. She has to be attractive and intelligent, and she must love me and take care of me better than anyone else has. Story 29. Religious men who truly keep God's word in their hearts instead of merely reading it and acting without commitment. Story 30. My taste in men is so unusual, finding guys like Seth Rogen and Kevin Heffernan from around the year 2000 insanely attractive, but feeling lukewarm about the Hemsworth brothers and Tom Holland, who I still think looks unappealing. Women are more personality-oriented, to be honest. If you are a unique individual among others, you are exceptional. Story 31. I'm a sapiophile. If a woman is smarter than me, it's an instant positive sign. If she is short and brunette, that's two more positive signs. If she has an attractive accent and writes in complete sentences too, I already have the hearts from Tom and Jerry floating around my head. Story 32. Tall, strong men with beards and intelligence who are kind to animals and confident in their masculinity. Story 33. Does not matter what gender they are if they are self-assured, intelligent, curious, and passionate about something. Story 34. Men who have a keen intellect, intellectual curiosity, a good dry sense of humor, and a strong degree of empathy. I also seem to gravitate towards dark-haired men who are no taller than 5 feet 10 inches, but those physical traits are less important than the others. Well-built gym bodies are an active turn-off for me, to the extent of being a deal-breaker. Story 35. A man who goes out of his way to help others because it is in his nature and tries to fix things around the house. Someone who is great with children. A man who tries to understand the other side rather than focusing on who is right or wrong. A man who protects his loved ones. A man who accepts that we have charming personalities, but at the end of the day, we are loyal 100% because we are partners in crime. A man with similar creative hobbies who enjoys playing video games. Someone who takes care of his appearance, understanding that hair turns white and skin loses its firmness over time. He knows I am quiet and have few friends who check on me, so he checks on me. He prioritizes taking care of his family if any of us are sick. We text and call each other every day during work simply because we enjoy each other's company. Someone who does not tire of my presence. We are always striving to support and improve each other. That is why I married my husband. I will never find anyone like him. We are best friends. Together 15 years and counting. Story 36. Competent and kind, someone with whom I feel safe, who allows me to be myself and do what I want, and treats me as a human individual rather than as someone who needs to fill a role defined by him. Story 37. Very cliché, but I am attracted to tall, muscular, blonde men, preferably with blue or green eyes. I am glad that I have found one and hope to marry him in the future. Story 38. Of course, good looks, such as an attractive face and body, do catch my attention. But at the end of the day, what I am most attracted to is kindness. I am impressed when somebody goes out of their way to reach out to others to make their lives brighter, especially when many people just look out for themselves. Story 39. Educated, quiet, and accomplished. Understated confidence. Overconfident, flashy men who require a lot of attention intimidate me. Story 40. Powerful, beautiful, elegant women who are far above my pay grade. Usually talented and ambitious, they dominate their fields. Oddly, these women are where I am most fortunate. Story 41. Older Midwestern lesbians with mother issues. The problem is that I am a cisgender-presenting white man. I do have this issue to thank for meeting my best friend, who self-identifies as a lesbian stoner crazy cat grandmother. Story 42. I am also attracted to individuals who are compassionate, ambitious, and enjoy intellectual conversations, people who inspire and challenge me in a positive way. Story 43. English men have a charming accent, especially English received pronunciation accents. When they say darling or love, it makes my knees weak. Story 44. Please be patient and do not ignore me by frequently looking at a moving rectangle. Story 45. For me, it is people who are a little reserved at first but have that dry, sharp sense of humor once they open up. Feels like finding a hidden treasure. Story 46. As a serious and pessimistic person, I usually find myself attracted to the complete opposite. That is, people with silly senses of humor who are generally optimistic and kind. Story 47. I honestly attract women who have suppressed experiences of sexual abuse, which leads me to believe that nearly all women have experienced it. Story 48. People of some of the highest levels of self-awareness and thinking in the world, unfortunately, are not self-conscious. Person like this is not anxious at all. Story 49. I met my wife on eHarmony before dating apps were as popular as they are now. At the time, I was living in a new city and working constantly, so I spent a lot of time answering the questions they asked. Every match I received, except for one, was either a teacher or a nurse. I don't know if that says something about me or about the number of teachers and nurses who use those apps, but I assume I have a type. The one match who was not a nurse or teacher was an accountant. Story 50. Strong men, both physically and mentally. Beards interest me more than a clean-shaven face. If they look like they could pick me up, guide me somewhere, and cherish me, I am swiping right and getting excited. I seem to like older men too, or at least men who are very emotionally mature. I went through raising my ex-husband through his issues. Now, I crave someone I can rely on instead of feeling like someone's mother or lifeboat. I want someone who will encourage me to be my best through the day and want to cuddle up and cherish each other at night. Something about a big man with emotional depth speaks to me. I try not to limit myself to that archetype, but I definitely feel drawn to men who model those aspects. Story 51. Sensitive, caring, and focused more on actions than just words. I am blessed to be in a relationship with this type of person now. I call him my unicorn. Story 52. Curvy women, ethereal, fairy-like. They wear funky clothes and have a goddess-like presence. For men, alternative styles are appealing. I like bigger, chubbier men, as well as skinny and lanky ones. Definitely punk. I am a goth myself. Story 53. Men with soft, gentle voices who are caring but not in a possessive or controlling way. Someone I can lay my head next to. Story 54. A little bit shorter than me, looks tidy and intelligent, wears glasses, smiles a lot, and shows interest in me. Story 55. If a girl says she appreciates how kind I always am no matter what, or if she says something that shows she appreciates it, then I will immediately fall for her. Story 56. Not short, but not very tall, has a nice back which is my favorite male body part, is very funny, knows how to dress and understands interior decor, is intelligent and humble, prefers cats, does not hunt, leans slightly left in political views, likes to cook, and wants to travel. Story 57. I have noticed over time that I tend to be attracted to outgoing personalities who do not tolerate nonsense from others. For example, I appreciate people who are focused on getting things done but also have a sense of humor about it. Story 58. Men who are polite and have a good sense of humor attract me. I am drawn to men who are kind to others and respectful. However, they need to be Christian. I only date Christian men. Story 59. Geeky, blonde hair, glasses. These are traits that every girl I have had a crush on in the past shares. Bonus points if the hair is in a ponytail or pigtail. Story 60. I am drawn to men who are confident, lead while being respectful, have a good sense of humor, and are kind. Story 61. I am attracted to kind and gentle women, women with whom I can enjoy both silly and deep conversations. Story 62. Women with low self-esteem tend to dislike women or people they perceive as more confident or successful. This attitude often filters out many potential healthy relationships. Who knew? Edit. This does not bode well with the comment directly beneath me. Story 63. Skinny, flat-chested, talkative, restless, short-haired, with a questionable sense of humor, and some tattoos too. Story 64. Gray hair, preferably at least chin or shoulder length, tattoos, tall, toned but not too muscular. Personality outgoing, talkative, friendly, funny, with pretty eyes. Story 65. Women taller and physically stronger than me with an athletic build. I have a slight preference for white blondes, but regardless, I am immensely attracted to the first two traits. Story 66. Approximately 10 years younger than me, I am 45 years old. Red hair, tall, well-proportioned figure, sarcastic and witty, exceptionally intelligent, formally educated, politically left of liberal, athletic or at least not averse to sports, both watching and playing. Story 67. The type of women who are not absolute knuckleheads. The ones who do not say women good, men bad. The ones who are not self-absorbed. The ones who treat you like a human being. The ones who love you for who you are. Sure, physical attributes matter. For me, I like women who are neither too skinny nor overweight. Being chubby is acceptable. You need to have nice skin, beautiful eyes, and long hair. Short hair is acceptable if it reaches your shoulders. You need to have nice-looking thighs and hair. Story 68. Polish women for the win. Beautiful with pretty faces, slim figures, kind smiles, and soft, feminine qualities, with cute and sexy accents. Story 69. Women who have unusual dental anomalies, such as misaligned jaws that cause their teeth to be asymmetrical, front tooth gaps, or women who look like they could use braces but do not need them and therefore do not get them. Those smiles make me very happy. I cannot stand overly perfect teeth. Story 70. Men who are witty, able to engage in playful conversation with me, with whom I can both share jokes and have deep introspective discussions, and who have confidence in themselves. Story 71. Holders of influence. I am a huge fan of being the disaffected love of a holder of influence. The others fawn over him, but I am the one who keeps his charisma in check, lest he create something that will devolve into a cult of personality. Without a holder of influence, I am a bit indistinct. Story 72. In a perfect world, it is redheads of most sizes. In the real world, it is the ones who smile when I talk to them. Story 73. Disproportionately Asian women. Disproportionately tomboys. Either in a technical field or adjacent in some way, often with male engineers as relatives. Generally fit. Generally just really kind and patient. Often with edgy humor. Some of it is the culture and values. Story 74. Bisexual women who are much cooler than I am and out of my league are usually dark-haired or have a darker complexion than I do. Story 75. Men. I am in my 50s and have not yet been attracted to a man. Women are generally brunette, with an alternative or rock chick aesthetic. Ideally slightly androgynous. Tattoos, nose ring, medium build, strong thighs, long thick nipples. Story 76. People who can make me laugh while also making a delicious grilled cheese sandwich. It is a deal breaker if either quality is missing. Story 77. Personality. Individuals who are kind and funny, easy to be around. Body type. Strong dad bodies. Softness over big muscles. Gets me so weak. Story 78. I have a very peculiar taste. It has been fairly consistent since puberty. I have an unhealthy and unstoppable desire to be with someone who will never see me the same. I am talking about anyone lately. Story 79. I am actively attracted to women who are likely to cheat instead of being mature and breaking up with me. I am passively attracted to redheads, blondes, and black-haired women who are about 5 to 10 years younger than me. Story 80. Petite with a pretty face and large breasts. Cliché, I know, but I just cannot help it. We all have a type. Story 81. I do not know how to describe this phenotype. It resembles Amy Jo Johnson or Kimberly, the original Pink Power Ranger, Jennifer Garner, Rachel McAdams, Gracie Abrams, and Cindy Crawford. That specific look. Story 82. White or East Asian girls with a thin build, very long hair, a cool taste in music or movies, and a shy, curious personality. Story 83. I prefer a man with a beard and long hair, thin, muscular, and rugged. Intelligence is very attractive too. Story 84. Redheads. I literally cannot imagine an unattractive person who is also a redhead. They do not exist. They are all absolutely beautiful. Story 85. Kind, genuine men who are always honest. They can satisfy me in every way and, at a minimum, are able to hold an intelligent conversation. Story 86. Light-eyed fair blondes of all genders. Now, I know it sounds bad, but I am a very dark-haired, dark-eyed, slightly tanned Asian whose whole family, including extended relatives, shows that these genes are very dominant. I am just fulfilling my ancestors' goal of colonizing the white population and bringing the glorious golden horde back. Story 87. I like social women who are creative, full of life and energy, kind, genuinely caring, emotionally intelligent, and book smart. They are always growing to become their best self and have hobbies. If she is adventurous and confident, then that is another conversation. Story 88. Women aged 50 and older know exactly what they want and get straight to the point in the bedroom. Story 89. Mainly dark hair and blue eyes. Women smaller and thinner than me, men taller and chubbier or more muscular. I like strong cheekbones and especially collarbones in both. I like big hands and thick fingers in men. I like big and thick genitalia. In women, I like small breasts, nipples, and inner labia. I also have had crushes based on different combinations of facial features, personality, and more. I like men who are rather active in bed and women who are passive. In daily life, I like active men who like to make decisions and take the lead while respecting my boundaries. I like dominant but loving and caring men. In women, I like softness, sensitivity, and submissiveness, but with the ability to communicate boundaries, as well as less decision-oriented ones. I appreciate both being intelligent, empathic, and having a big heart. Story 90. I'm very attracted to women when I feel their energy. I mean, when you see a woman and she looks sweet and charming, and you can feel the sweetest energy. Story 91. Someone who has a gutter channel humor like me, but at the same time can hold deep conversations about life. Also, someone who lives a simple life. Story 92. Someone who has a gutter canal humor like me, but at the same time can hold deep conversations about life. Also, someone who lives a simple life. Story 93. I am very attracted to women who are overly nice. I like kind-hearted, generous women. On the other hand, egotistical and selfish women are a huge turnoff. I want to give the world to very gentle women. I want to protect them at all costs. Story 94. For me, bigger women. I have always been attracted to that type. Notice I did not say obese. There is a difference. Story 95. I am into the very smart, nerdy type. I love listening to them discuss niche subjects. Bonus points if I learn something new. Story 96. Weirdos. The ones who self-isolate and do their own thing. Not leaders necessarily, but rather lone wolves. Not followers. Story 97. Men with a good level of emotional intelligence. Men who show emotions, listen to what I say, and are able to express their own concerns. Story 98. I grew up in Asia for most of my life. I like Asian women the most, both physically and culturally. Personality-wise, they are strong-willed, kind, intelligent, and motivated. I never considered someone who did not want kids because I wanted kids. Story 99. Someone with a strong passion for whatever they love, who can hold long conversations and does not take themselves too seriously. Story 100. Whatever body type my wife has at any given moment. Fat? Love it. Skinny? Love it. Chubby? Love it. Obese? Love it. Story 101. Intelligent, kind, caring, funny, and not afraid to teach me things. My girlfriend is really knowledgeable about how clothes are used in movies depending on the context. She also knows about historical fashion, which is very attractive. Basically, she is a big nerd and is not afraid to speak her mind. Story 102. This is not conscious or even knowing, but all of the girls I, a 45-year-old male, have had their father either deceased or at the very least estranged. I have dated many. When I realized this, I was really confused. Story 103. So the kind that do not pay attention to you when you enter a room, like they would rather lift weights or throw a bowling ball and are completely oblivious to your presence. It drives me crazy. When you finally do get their attention, you wish you had not. Story 104. I like attractive women who are sarcastic, feisty, and a little bit crazy, like my wife or Aubrey Plaza. Story 105. The Salma Hayek type. Beautiful, interesting, intelligent, talented, good storyteller, aging gracefully, and simply attractive. Story 106. I'm not attracted to any muscular or tall physiques. I'm a man who likes women, so that makes perfect sense. Big muscles really gross me out. Story 107. The Arab girls who tell you to wait for marriage with a man of their ethnicity but engage in secret relationships are incredible to observe. Story 108. If I said people who find me unattractive, that would mean that I am attracted to everyone. So I would say eccentric people with unusual quirks. One of my biggest crushes was a woman with only one eye, and she had a large collection of very cool eye prostheses. Also, interestingly, 80% of the women I had a crush on were lesbians, and I did not know it. So, yes, people with whom I have no chance, not that I have much chance with straight or bisexual women either. Story 109. It is a hard reality, but men who do not choose me are either narcissistic or sociopathic. That is why I am in a lot of therapy. Story 110. I have been told that I am a black stereotype, but I am not black. Fried chicken is my favorite food. I really like grape-flavored soda. Watermelon is delicious, and I like plus-size women. Not huge, but chubby. Story 111. A little nerdy, a little mean, but mostly kind. She can have any body type except obese. I would still date a heavy woman, though. I am 37 and cannot be picky at all. Story 112. Assertive, aggressive, and emotionally unavailable. I am not fully sure why on the last one, but there are decades of data points that correlate. Story 113. Powerful women who get things done. I don't like very emotional women who freeze or cry when faced with problems. Women with confidence in their own abilities and the strength to overcome problems. That's my preference. Story 114. Good intellect, articulate, progressive, thin, long hair is preferable, likes outdoor sports, does not play video games. Story 115. Mature, empathetic man with a dark past, fun and nice humor, yet calm and reassuring, introspective, caring, artistic, and romantic. Story 116. I'd like to sit here and tell you I am attracted to independent, secure, funny men who find a balance between calm, confident intelligence and childlike, capricious whimsy. But it is actually more like emotionally unavailable, aloof man-babies who have no ability to plan long-term. The women I am attracted to are the petite baddies with chihuahua energy. If I am not enchanted by her weird interests and also scared for my safety, I am not interested. Yes, I am in therapy. No, it has not helped. Story 117. If she is interested in astrology and has that earthy, grounded vibe, I am going to fall for her so hard I cannot get up. Story 118. As a 60-year-old man, similar to when I was a teenager, I have always been drawn to super thin, lanky, geeky individuals who may not be considered attractive by most, but are intelligent and shy. Generally, they are not Christian, so for me, they can only be friends. Those I end up with tend not to match that description at all, though I generally tend to avoid very attractive women. I will wait and see if the Lord finds me another wife, and not just what I thought. Story 119. pricks, narcissists, and your garden variety unpleasant people. However, I am trying to change that. I have a little crush on a seemingly sweet, shy guy, but I have not mustered up the courage to ask him out. Story 120. Intelligent neurodiverse individuals with complex medical needs who were hit by a car when younger. No, I am not kidding. This is what has happened to me in the world of attraction, though not on purpose. It is just kind of a hilarious coincidence. Story 121. Masculine men with a good build, emotionally mature, possess good self-esteem and common sense, and can accomplish tasks efficiently. A passionate individual and a gentleman at appropriate times. Story 122. Big, full-figured women in their 50s with platinum blonde bobbed hair. It has not changed since I was 13. Now at 44, the women just get older but still maintain that look. Story 123. Women who are full-figured with dark hair, tattoos, and sometimes glasses. Mentally, I usually prefer challenging personalities, not overly girly or feminine, significantly older than me, often described as cougars. Many of them tend to be assertive or outspoken. Story 124. Personality-wise, they need to be outgoing and somewhat talkative. I am very extroverted and tend to ramble a lot, so I need someone who is equally interested in conversation. Story 125. Am I just greedy? I love all women, tall, blonde, with long legs, dark, edgy, pale, red-headed, freckled, funny, tan with a big butt, who can dance, shy brunette with glasses and a sundress, older, librarian-looking. I love them all. Story 126. Typically white, I'm black. No preference. I just live in Arizona, so they love us here. Smart, sarcastic, with pretty eyes, usually green or blue or both. Nerdy, silly, big body, but they are either solid or have huge muscles. Usually have a full beard and tattoos. They all have either a mommy or daddy issue and can be a bit of an asshole, but not to me. Story 127. Muscular, toned, fit women who could easily put me in a submission hold just as easily as they could pick me up and hold me close. Feminine men. I like to joke that somewhere along the line some wires were crossed because I do not find muscular men attractive in any way, shape, or form. Story 128. Kind, capable of critical thought, not on their phones all the time, not promiscuous, do not use artificial intelligence for anything, breasts. Story 129. For men, I have always been attracted to scruffy individuals who use cannabis. For women, usually the shy and very intelligent ones. Story 130. I seem to like women who come across as damaged. I also cannot date women my own age. They are either 6 years younger or often 9 or more years older. That said, at age 59, I am starting to reach the limit when it comes to older women. Story 131. Someone with confidence and emotional intelligence. Someone who makes me feel like my emotional wants and needs are an inconvenience or not valid. Story 132. Blossoming lesbians apparently. I'm not interested, and as a mostly straight man, I would like it to stop. I do not possess the correct anatomy to participate. Story 133. Progressive men who are kind, reliable, curious, and active. Not necessarily athletic but willing to hike and walk a lot while traveling, who like animals, have a sense of humor and self-awareness, and preferably enjoy traveling though it is not required. I think most engineers are awesome. Story 134. Insightful, curious, creative, passionate. Empathy for animals is a major positive indicator, especially after decades in the veterinary field. For me, it is less about the specifics of the container and more about the contents. Story 135. Tan women with dark hair and big brown eyes. This is basically Ella Purnell. I think dark hair is the most attractive feature a woman can have, besides a muscular body and pretty eyes. Story 136. I am a man attracted to men. I like them tall, lean, and smooth, masculine presenting. Toned is nice too, but not required. I love introspection, emotional maturity, or at least being teachable and accountable. People who are reliable and consistent. These traits rarely show up in the same person. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.